There's been plenty of moments. I think the earliest one that I can remember, which has stuck in my mind for a long time.
The death of Queen Elizabeth II sent ripples of anticipation and apprehension through Buckingham Palace. The reading of her last will and testament, a document shrouded in secrecy for months, promised to unveil not just the distribution of her considerable wealth and possessions, but also a potential reshaping of the British monarchy itself. Prince William, entrusted with the responsibility of reading the will, found himself at the center of a pivotal moment in royal history, a moment that would irrevocably alter the future of the institution and the lives of its members. The atmosphere within Buckingham Palace as Prince William prepared to read the Queen's will was thick with tension. The assembled royal family, accustomed to maintaining an outward show of composure, were acutely aware that the document held the potential to disrupt the established order and to expose long-held family secrets. The will was not merely a legal document. It was a roadmap for the future of the monarchy, a blueprint that would dictate the distribution of wealth, the allocation of royal properties, and the very structure of the royal family for generations to come. The weight of this responsibility rested heavily on Prince William's shoulders, a burden he carried with a quiet intensity. The initial revelations from the will were enough to send a shockwave through the assembled royals. Contrary to expectations of a straightforward inheritance, the Queen's final wishes presented a far more complex and nuanced distribution of assets. Some members of the royal family were bequeathed significantly more than anticipated, while others received considerably less, creating an immediate imbalance and sparking speculation about the Queen's motivations. The will's contents were not simply about financial assets. They were about power, influence, and the very future of the royal family. The unexpected distribution of wealth and property immediately raised questions about the Queen's intentions and the potential for future conflict within the royal family. The will's provisions regarding royal properties proved particularly surprising. Contrary to the widely held belief that Buckingham Palace was under the Queen's personal jurisdiction, the document revealed that it, along with other significant properties, was classified as part of the Crown estate. This seemingly simple clarification had profound implications, potentially overturning centuries of established royal customs and practices. The Queen's decision to classify these properties as belonging to the Crown estate rather than her personal estate had significant implications for the future management and control of these assets, potentially impacting the financial independence and autonomy of future monarchs. This unexpected revelation immediately raised questions about the future governance of these properties and the implications for future generations of the royal family. Beyond the allocation of properties, the will unveiled the extent of the Queen's personal wealth, a figure largely unknown to the public. Her fortune, accumulated not only through royal duties but also through shrewd investments, art acquisitions, and personal ventures, was substantial. The details of its distribution, however, were carefully concealed until the reading of the will. The unexpected distribution of this wealth, with some family members receiving significantly more than others, immediately sparked speculation and fueled questions about the Queen's intentions and the potential for future disputes within the royal family. The revelation of the Queen's personal wealth and its distribution created a new dynamic within the royal family, potentially shifting the balance of power and influence. The will further revealed the existence of a significant collection of private treasures, items imbued with immense sentimental and historical value. These treasures, including art, heirlooms, and antiques accumulated over generations, were not part of the Crown's official collection, but rather represented the Queen's personal accumulation of historical artifacts. The allocation of these treasures, with some pieces going to specific family members and others remaining within the royal collection, sparked further intrigue and raised questions about the Queen's motivations and the potential for future disputes. The distribution of these personal treasures highlighted the Queen's careful consideration of the legacy she wished to leave behind and the importance of preserving these historical artifacts for future generations. Among the most significant revelations was the Queen's decision regarding Balmoral Castle, her beloved retreat in the Scottish Highlands. Contrary to expectations of a straightforward inheritance, the will stipulated that Balmoral would not be solely inherited by one family member, but would instead be shared among several, creating a complex arrangement with the potential for future disagreements. This decision, while seemingly simple, highlighted the Queen's desire to ensure the preservation of this historically significant property for the benefit of the entire royal family. The shared inheritance of Balmoral Castle raised questions about the future management of this property and the potential for future conflicts within the royal family. The Queen's art collection, a previously undisclosed aspect of her private holdings, also played a significant role in the will's provisions. The collection, featuring works by renowned masters such as Rembrandt and Vermeer, was not part of the Crown's official collection, but rather represented the Queen's personal accumulation of art over many years. The will specified which family members would inherit these valuable pieces, with some selections proving to be quite surprising. The distribution of these artworks was not merely a matter of financial inheritance. It was a carefully considered decision, reflecting the Queen's assessment of which family members would best uphold the cultural legacy represented by these masterpieces. The Queen's jewelry collection, containing numerous historically significant heirlooms, also presented a complex inheritance. The distribution of these items, with some pieces going to Camilla, the Queen consort, and others to Prince William and his children, highlighted the Queen's strategic vision for the future of the monarchy. This careful distribution of jewelry, reflecting both personal and historical significance, ensured that the Queen's legacy would be carried forward through multiple generations of the royal family. Finally, the will revealed the existence of a collection of rare books, family manuscripts, and other heirlooms, representing the Queen's personal connection to the monarchy's extensive history. These items, far more than mere possessions, served as tangible links to the past, carrying the weight of centuries of royal history. The allocation of these items, specified in the will, raised questions about the preservation of these historical artifacts and the responsibility of carrying forward the Queen's legacy. The reading of Queen Elizabeth II will mark a pivotal moment in the history of the British monarchy. The document's revelations, far more complex and nuanced than anticipated, not only dictated the distribution of significant wealth and possessions, but also pointed towards a potential reshaping of the institution itself. The unexpected provisions, the strategic allocation of